Jack, thank you very much. We've been coming to the folks all morning from the tight ends room, and I think it's appropriate to mention that here and now because we bring in Chip Long, who's not only the Notre Dame offensive coordinator, but Chip, you're also going to be responsible for coaching the tight ends individually. And as we look at the mural on the wall here and you see the Pro Bowlers, the names like Eifert and Rudolph, I know you guys are real excited about the crop of tight ends you're bringing in today. You feel like maybe the next great Notre Dame tight end is in this group.
There's no question. I think as a group, you got 1 and 2, the best 2 tight ends in the country, all in one class. The fact that we already have one here on campus and another one coming is very exciting for me as a position. And then not to mention the guys that we have here already that are ready to really step up and showcase their skills. So, there's great excitement in this room. You look at that wall, wow, it's amazing. So they better step up when they walk in here to keep up with that tradition.
No doubt about it. The young man that is here is Brock White, widely considered to be the top tight end in this high school class. What is it about Brock that made him the guy that everybody wanted?
He has great size, great speed, very good ball skills, is a big guy, runs very crisp routes, is a young man that has been committed to Notre Dame for a while, didn't go to any camps, and still ranked that top tight end in the country, which speaks volumes of his talent. Just being here, watching him in the weight room, just a relentless worker. He's here every day, so he knows what it takes to be great, and which is very exciting. You don't see that in young guys that much.
As I was looking at his bio, it noted that he was second on his team in receiving last year in high school, which I think will get a lot of fans excited here because the tight end traditionally has been a very good weapon for this football program over the years.
Right. You're at Notre Dame, you should be able to recruit the best tight end in the country every year. And in our offense, the past 6 or 7 years, it's been a focal point. And not just one guy. We like to have 2 to 3 guys out there all the time. And by being able to get into different structures, by playing fast, puts the defense in a bind. They don't know where they want to go nickel or want to put a safety or a linebacker on you, which is a huge mismatch. And then being able to bring those guys back in the box and have a power run game at the same time with great tempo, we're playing ahead.
The other tight end you bring in today is Cole Kmet. He's not chopped liver either, also one of the top tight ends in the country. In terms of his skill set, both blocking and catching the football, what do you see in him?
Just like Brock, he has great size, great speed, very good ball skills. Cole's a little bit more of a receiver than Brock in line, but Cole, he'll transition fine with just his athleticism, and another tough kid, very good baseball player, throws a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. And just another great athlete and another young man who has committed to Notre Dame for a long time. I think both of them might have been their sophomore years. So, they have a love for this university that's going to help them go through any kind of tough transition they might have and will themselves to be great players here.
The Notre Dame fans are used to seeing a certain type of tight end, a guy that can block really well and catch the pass really well. They've had a good tradition of it here. But I'm curious, as you recruit the country, how rare is it to find that kid that's that blend of both power and skill?
It's very hard. It's almost like a dying position, which is also great because nobody really plays against it anymore. So the previous places I had to go to, you always worried, do you take a bigger receiver, but you don't know how physical he's going to be in that transition? Do you take a defensive end who has ball skills? You still don't know. There's still question marks about, is he going to be a route runner? These are all the things we ask those guys to do, and to be at a place where now you get the very top guy who has all those is very exciting. And both those guys they check every box, and when I go out looking for a top player.
Now today is also our first chance to kind of officially welcome you to the Notre Dame family as you're new to the program here, and there's a lot of people curious about what your offense looks like. And as we start to talk about that, I'll stick with the tight ends for one more question. And to you, how important is that position to what you like to do as you attack a defense?
No, it's very important. Probably in the offense, it's the second hardest position to learn for what we ask those guys to do and to play the tempo that we want to play at. We want to be able to get in and out of every formation without having to sub. So we ask those guys to be able to play receiver, be in the backfield, to do protections like a running back would have to do, and then be able to put your hand in the ground and get after it with the offensive line, and all playing at tempo. So, we put a whole lot on those guys, but it also showcases a lot what they can do in this offense and getting the ball into their hands. So, that helps them figure it out by catching a lot of balls. So, but it's as critical a position as we have in this offense moving forward.
And when you talk about tempo, there's obviously, you dictate it to a point, but there's a certain amount of stamina required and fatigue that comes into that. Having more than one tight end you can put on the field, how important is that if you're going to get a lot of snaps?
It's great. Everywhere I've been, you had two and another young guy who do a certain role. But, I think here you'll have 3 to 4 to 5 guys who can get out there and perform at a high level and not miss a beat, which is great. Because, in the fourth quarter, if you're able to have that position fresh, you can really turn the table of any kind of game.
And because we want to let the Notre Dame fans watching inside your brain a little bit as to how you call a football game, I'm curious how you would describe your offense if you were to generalize.
Yeah, no, we're a pro-style offense that goes extremely fast. We want to be a run-play-action team. We want to be able to move our quarterback, be a quarterback-friendly offense and protection, and get him out where he's running the show. And so everything evolves around that quarterback, what he does well. So being very multiple, we carry a lot of offense, so which helps us match it to the skill sets that we have year in and year out. But we'll have our base philosophy, but it's to be physical. And we're going to take numerous shots, be very aggressive, but we want to play at tempo and create a fifth quarter to really wear out that defense and really be able to, dictate the pace of the game and how it's going.
Playing fast puts a lot on the quarterback, and regardless of who ends up being your starter, it's going to be a new guy under center for Notre Dame next year. Obviously, Brandon Wimbush is the one guy that's gotten game experience. In your discussions with him so far, what kind of a football player do you see?
I see a very athletic young man and a very, I haven't met one person say one bad thing about him, and which is great. And just the way he interacts with the guys, the way he's trying to exert himself out there is exciting to see. But he's ready to get after. He's ready to take those reins. So, I can't wait to get back out there on the field with those guys and see what all they can do and kind of morph the offense around them and what they do well. But there's no question he's a guy that's going to have a really good veteran offensive line to help take some pressure off of him at a young age until he gets used to playing. But he has played. He has been in an atmosphere which is, puts a coach at ease when you're coming in. But, his athleticism really brings a very, very exciting part to the offense.
What does that allow you to do when you've got a guy that's got a big arm like he does but can also run?
Well, it makes the defense account for him. So, with his ability, he can bring a lot of man coverage, which now puts your receivers in one-on-one. And with his arm, we got to be able to win that battle. We want people to come and play us man so we can get that situation. And then what he can do on the perimeter. We always want our quarterbacks to be a willing runner. We don't want them to win games with their arm, but they got to be able to create. They got to be able to get us out of bad situations and work the perimeter when we're working that game in our triple option phase.
And one thing you said to me the last time we spoke, which I thought was important, is that I know you're a firm believer in running the football. You talk about getting out of bad situations, but a good way to stay out of bad situations is success on first down, running the football.
There's no question. With our run game and our RPO game, first down's huge. It sets up everything else in that series. But everything starts there. We want to be able to run the ball, all right, to win games. We want to be able to run the ball when we want to. Not necessarily when we have to. So that's a huge part. But, everywhere we've been, we've thrown for close to 4,000 yards and had 2,000-yard rushing and thrown for over 30 touchdowns. So the offense, by the pace it goes and the plays we try to get to, creates that many more opportunities for our playmakers to touch the ball and go out there and showcase their skills.
Spring football will be here before you know it, and I'm sure there's a lot of behind-the-scenes meeting work, playbook work that you do with your offense right now. Once you get them on the practice field, what's the first order of business for you?
Create a mindset. We want to have a mindset of be a very physical team in all our positions. I think if you have a physical mindset, you're going to be a great receiver. You're going to be a great back, quarterback, offensive line, tight end, and then just teach them the pace that we like to play at, the parameters we want to play with, but building that mental toughness and that physicality we want to go into game one.
How much are you looking forward to getting on the field with those guys for the first time?
I can't wait. There's no question about it. I'm jumping the bit.
Another thing that's interesting about this is that Brian Kelly basically told the world the other day that you will be the play caller of this offense, which is a bit of a break from the norm for him. I'm curious how the two of you guys see offense similarly?
That's probably one of the main reasons why I came here, because we do a lot of the same things. That's why the transition, I think, won't be as difficult, because these kids have done a lot of things that I believe in and have done them for a while. So, I've always studied Coach Kelly's offense for years and tried to incorporate things into this offense that he's done. And so I thought that was one of the bigger things that really excited me, that I didn't think it was going to be a total overhaul of everything. That these guys have a frame of reference of what we want to try to do, which will help, speed up the process in the transition.
Well, I know you're excited to get going. There's a lot of people watching home that are excited to see what that looks like on Saturday. So we'll certainly be watching closely over the next few months. Chip, pleasure to have you here on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Congrats on the signing day to this far. And we're going to throw it back to Jack Nolan now, who's standing by in our equipment room. Jack?